Hello and welcome. I'm Claudia Bester. I'm the Director of Public Programs at the UCLA Hammer Museum in Los Angeles. Tonight's concert commemorates the Armenian Genocide, in which an estimated 1.5 million Armenian people were killed between 1915 and 1923 in a horrific act of ethnic cleansing. The victims of the Armenian Genocide are commemorated every year on April 24th, and this Saturday, hundreds of thousands of people will walk in a silent march to the Armenian Genocide Memorial in Armenia's capital city, Yerevan, which you just saw in the video, to lay flowers at the eternal flame. It's appropriate that we not only remember this dark chapter in history, but that we also celebrate the contributions of Armenian culture to the arts. Here in Los Angeles, one of the most diverse cities in the nation, we have one of the largest populations of Armenian people outside of Armenia. And one of my favorite things about LA is that living here, we get to share the rich musical traditions of our community and experience firsthand how music transcends all cultures and generations. Tonight, we have special performances of 12 pieces of glorious Armenian music over the next hour, starting with classics, then traditional folk songs, and finally 4 pieces by contemporary composers. The incredible musicians performing for you tonight are from the UCLA Armenian Music Program, which is part of the UCLA Alpert School of Music, one of the leading music schools in the country. The Armenian Music Program has many components, including 2 performing groups, a classical chamber music ensemble called the VEM Ensemble and the Armenian Music Ensemble, and we'll hear from both of them tonight. So now I'd like to welcome my good friend and Hammer Museum board member, Dr. Eric Israelian, to say a few words.
My name is Eric Israelian, and I want to welcome you to this special performance in remembrance of the Armenian Genocide brought to you by the Hammer Museum. I want to thank the Hammer Museum and Claudia Bester for their steadfast support of the Armenian community over the years. I want to thank Dean Eileen Strempel, Professor Movses Pogossian, the VEM Ensemble, and the Armenian Music Ensemble from the Alpert School of Music for their dedication, their talent, and their commitment to preserving Armenian culture. I also want to thank the Promise Armenian Institute for their partnership in this program. And I want to thank all of you for your support over the years and for making sure that we keep the promise to never forget the Armenian Genocide.
Thank you, Eric. And now it's my great pleasure to introduce tonight's MC, Movses Pogossian, the director of the Armenian Music Program at UCLA. Pogossian is a world-renowned violinist who hails from the Komitas Conservatory in Armenia and the Tchaikovsky Conservatory of Music in Moscow. He's a prize winner of the Tchaikovsky International Competition and the youngest ever winner of the National Violin Competition in the Soviet Union. Movses is also the artistic director of the critically acclaimed Dilijan Chamber Music Series and professor of violin at the UCLA Alpert School of Music, and we're so fortunate to have him share his gifts with us. Please join me in welcoming Movses Pogossian.
Good evening. Thank you for the introduction, Claudia, and thank you also for having us back. It is always a pleasure to be a part of Hammer Museum's cultural programs. It's been 7 years already that the VEM Ensemble represents the Armenian Music Program at UCLA on occasion of commemorating the Armenian Genocide. It is indeed a very sad and tragic occasion, and during these days, first and foremost, we pay our respects to the memory of the innocent victims of the Armenian Genocide of 1915, which includes members also of my own family, as it is very typical for almost every Armenian family. However, we also celebrate the fighting spirit and the creative force of the Armenian nation. And what can be better than music? Music that heals the soul and inspires us. I'm fortunate to be the inaugural director of the Armenian Music Program, and today I will be walking you through the program and also talking at various times about the important tenets of our program, which has been in existence for the last 8 years, hard to imagine. The cornerstone of our program is the VEM Ensemble, which consists of a string quartet and a vocalist. We also offer several classes and courses on Armenian music. There is a vigorous outreach in Armenian schools, it's my favorite part, and in Armenian community. There is an aspect also of a high-profile performing, which includes international touring, and especially recently, recording projects and scholarship. I thought especially today it would make sense to start the program with the work of the greatest Armenian composer, Komitas, who himself was a victim of Armenian genocide. You will hear his song Keller Tzoler, performed by mezzo-soprano Danielle Segan and accompanied by her husband, Thomas. After that, Danielle will perform Art Song by Geghuni Chitjian, living Armenian composer. The song is entitled Manushakim, to the flower. After that, you will hear the oldest work in today's program, ancient, beautiful Tag, written by the great Armenian mystic of the 10th century, Grigor Narekatsi. What makes this rendition special for me is that the arrangement is done for solo cello by our own cellist of the VEM String Quartet, J1 An. We will then proceed to rendition of Komitas' Clouds, Ampela, in a string quartet arrangement by Sarkis Aslamazyan. And here you will hear members of my own family performing with me. All of these projects are unified by the fact that they were all created during the pandemic. So it took considerable amount of effort and also some technological mastery to bring them to reality. So I'm especially pleased to share them with you.
Hi, my name is Sam, and I play the viola.
Hi, my name is Jaewon An, and I play the cello. Yeah, my background is very limited. I know that there are certain sounds, like the duduk sound, having been played in movies like Gladiator or like Pirates of the Caribbean.
I didn't really get to familiarize myself with the music until the opportunity came to play in the VEM quartet. It's been a great experience getting to know the music of Komitas and Mansurian and of many living composers too that are writing great music.
So when I first was introduced to Havun, I heard a traditional performance with duduk, which is an Armenian double reed instrument. I thought it was a beautiful tune, and when I heard it, I thought it was very introspective and spiritual in nature. There's something very like euphoric about listening to a tune like this, and I was very captivated by that. So I first looked at the music and I decided to transcribe it into the bass clef, but since it repeats, I wanted to also bring out the treble, the higher side of the cello playing and cello sound. Another important aspect that I really want to bring out was the drone sound with the duduk in the back. I think that is a very traditional way of representing Armenian music, and I thought it was essential that I also brought that out. So I asked Sam if he could join my playing, and I think that really worked out because that brought out this sense of timelessness and tranquility.
It's an ancient spiritual melody written by Grigor Narekatsi. It's an interesting task, a challenge to play the role of the drone, because the drone is meant to be a supporting role, but the drone is unchanging and it sustains indefinitely. It sort of creates a mesmerizing or hypnotic sound, and then that allows the melody to sort of float above and be extremely expressive on top of this velvety carpet of sound. You can hear the deeply religious character of his music in this melody, especially on the cello. I think it's such a perfect instrument to play this tune. The register and the timbre of the cello, it really captures the spirit of the music and the melismatic vocal quality of the melody. The bird awoken, eyeing there the Gentiles, calls and calls the turtle dove, beloved his, nurtured love.
Treading the winepress, hue to hue, all crimsoned, wood put into bread, offering sacrifice. May you live unweary, evermore, forever.
What beautiful music. I hope you've been enjoying our concert. When we first started the Armenian music program at UCLA, it was focused only on Western classical tradition, with a string quartet and a vocalist. All along, though, I was dreaming of expanding it to be able to include the folk musical tradition, which is so rich and so deserving. So I could not be happier when we finally had the opportunity to introduce the creation of the Armenian Music Ensemble, which is headed by a wonderful musician and PhD student at UCLA, Armen Adamian, himself a virtuoso duduk player. The ensemble was offered for the first time last year, and it was such an instant success that we're offering it twice this year, both in the winter and the spring quarters. The wonderful thing about the Armenian Music Ensemble is that everyone is welcome. You don't have to be a high-level music performance major to join in and to learn to play or sing Armenian music. I find it very touching when students who did not know anything about Armenian music prior to joining the class end up becoming really taken by its beauty and contribute beautifully to its projects. In this section of our concert, you will hear two works by Armenian troubadour of the 18th century, Sayat-Nova, and two more works performed by Armen Adamian and his musical collaborators. The first Sayat-Nova song will be performed by a wonderful duet of sisters, Alexandra and Lilia Yeralyan. They will be singing and playing canon, one of the most popular and beloved Armenian instruments. You will then hear another song by Sayat-Nova, this time sang by Danielle Segan. It's a new addition to her already quite impressive Armenian music repertoire. She received, as always, wonderful and inspirational coachings for this song by Vache Barsumian, my dear friend, a director and creator of the Lark Musical Society, and a longtime believer in our mission. After that, you will be treated with Armen and his friends to performance of two folk songs, Arakel Mushech, as well as Abaran by Jora Gregorian. Enjoy the music. Welcome back. You already heard selections from Armenian spiritual music as well as folk music. And now for our last few selections, I would like to bring your attention to works by contemporary composers. Most of them are Armenian, but not everyone. As a performer myself, I love performing contemporary music, and I also believe that it is of utmost importance to champion it. Therefore, since I run the VEM Ensemble, I make my students do that as well. And I'm very proud of the result of our efforts. During this past year, we have had the incredible achievement of releasing 3 new CDs of new music, of which I am unabashedly proud. The first one is a CD called Modulation Necklace. It consists of new works of Armenian composers, 5 of them, and all of these are world premiere recordings. They also include performances by Daniel Segen and the VEM String Quartet. In November of this past year, the world-leading label ECM, which is based in Germany, released the CD of chamber music of Tigran Mansurian, Armenia's greatest living composer. And also in the fall, a new recording by an amazing jazz pianist, world-renowned Tigran Hamasyan, called The Call Within, was released by the Nonsuch label. What makes me especially happy that all of these CDs were recorded also at our own recording studio at UCLA, which is state-of-the-art facility. I will introduce for you the upcoming pieces in a moment. But before that, I would like to mention about a really exciting event that's coming up on May 21st. We call it the Day of Armenian Music at UCLA, and will take place at 12 p.m. on Friday, May 21st. I'm really looking forward to it because it will be a great opportunity for us to showcase all of our strengths, all of our branches, programs. It will feature 2 world premieres by wonderful musician, New York-based clarinetist Kinan Azme, and by the winner of the inaugural Mansurian Prize, Bryn Kirsch. Performances by internationally renowned musicians. It will also feature students of the Armenian Music Ensemble and the VEM Ensemble, of course. We will have a portion that will feature a workshop that will be led by Armen Adamian, will be geared mostly towards the participating students of several Armenian music schools. It will also have a lecture on the legacy of Mihran Tumajan, one of Komitas's pupils, by Melissa Bilal, brilliant musician and musicologist, my new colleague at UCLA. Lastly, I would like to thank our donors and supporters. This program simply would not be possible without you. We are thankful and grateful to every single one of you for your continuous support and belief of our program. To the best of my knowledge, our program is the only one existing program in the world outside of Armenia that concentrates on Armenian music. That makes me very proud, and I think we're poised beautifully looking into the future with optimism. Now let me tell you about what you will hear. You will first meet Hannah and Alan, the 2 violinists with the VEM String Quartet, who will tell us about the experiences of recording contemporary works of Armenian music during the pandemic. Then you will hear a selection from Tigran Mansurian's iconic 4 Hyrans, which the VEM Ensemble performed in November of 2019 at Zipper Hall in Los Angeles. Then you will hear a beautiful homage to Komitas by my great friend and UCLA composition faculty colleague Ian Krause, who lovingly arranged Hovarek by Komitas as a gift to my family. And of course, Ian Krause is the creator of the magnificent Armenian Requiem, which was premiered in 2015 at UCLA's Royce Hall in commemoration of the 100th anniversary of Armenian Genocide, was released on a Naxos CD and received critical acclaim. We're so grateful to you, Ian, for your love and amazing contributions to Armenian music. You will then hear a beautiful song written by a living Armenian composer, Artashes Kartalyan, who lives in Pasadena and who is also a dear friend. It will be the middle movement of the Tekeyan triptych, which he wrote for the VEM Ensemble. It's entitled Papak, Wish. Lastly, to finish on a positive note, we will share with you a beautiful work by Alan Hovhannes called Dear Loved One. Often our concerts end with this piece because it's so life-affirming and just so beautiful, especially as performed by Danielle Segen, who totally just owns the piece. You will see a video of the performance in Yerevan in June of 2019 at the Aram Khachaturian Museum. And I bet you can sense the palpable excitement of the performance and the audience reaction. Thank you once again for being part of this concert, and I hope you've been enjoying the music.
Hi, I'm Alan Lee. I'm the second violinist of the VEM Ensemble. And prior to coming to UCLA, I actually had no knowledge of Armenian culture and even the Armenian Genocide. And it was only upon meeting Professor Pogossian and Professor Manuelian that I really started to take an interest in Armenian culture.
Hi, my name is Hannah Chow, and I am the first violinist of the VEM Ensemble. Before coming to UCLA, I didn't really have much experience with Armenian music. And when I graduated with my bachelor's in music performance, I was looking for a master's program that combined multidisciplines of classical music. So the VEM Ensemble was a perfect program for me, where I got to learn more about the Armenian culture through playing the music, as well as work with like-minded peers.
One of the most fulfilling things we've done is actually our solo works in Armenian music. Personally, I've had to study music by Mansurian. Tigran Mansurian's music was a very great way for me to sort of focus my efforts and really hone in on finding inspiration to keep chugging along during this time.
This piece is very dramatic, and you never really know what's going to be around the corner. Because right from the beginning, it starts out very intense on the lowest string of the violin, and it just, keeps on chugging and going and going. Kudoyan, he surprises us with instances of calmness throughout the piece, and we're met with different color changes. It has a lot of extended techniques on the violin that really shows off all the virtuosic qualities that the violin can do and reach. And it also pushes my boundaries as a performer to be very showy and very virtuosic. Learning from Professor Pogossian, who actually worked with Adam Kudoyan in Armenia. So it's been kind of like a tradition that he's passed down to me.
Like the music of Komitas, I think Mansurian's music was very easy to connect with. I think one of the challenges with Lamento by Mansurian is the simplest things require the most thought. When trying to put ideas into even like a single note, a very interesting thing that came up in our sessions between Professor Pogossian and Professor Manuelian is the importance of the fourth in Armenian music and the Armenian tetrachord, which is a new idea to me. The Armenian tetrachord supposedly stacks these four notes, and the scale systems are somewhat different. But again, it's like very pleasing to my ear, so it was very easy to sort of get that instilled in sort of my process of understanding Mansurian's music. So Lamento, the dissonance quality, that's something that I had to really focus on not only get it in tune, but also just get the character of it. I'm not quite the kind of guy who really gets angry all that much, but in this piece, it really forced me to be more compelling with my emotions.
So one of my goals as a musician is to spread music to new audiences. We actually got to share these videos, the Kakavik or the Partridge, and also Clouds by Komitas, to children in Armenian elementary schools around LA County. And they were so excited to just like, when they first heard the first few notes, they knew what the piece was, and I could just see in their smiles how happy they were to recognize these pieces that they grew up with. And that was a really fulfilling experience for me. Unfortunately, we won't be able to travel to Armenia to perform these pieces, but we'll be having the opportunity in the coming months to share these video projects to children in Armenia through Zoom and online. And I think that'll be a really fun experience just to connect with these children.
In the past, the VEM Ensemble worked on Tigran Mansurian's quartet, and they even had the opportunity to travel to Armenia and work personally with Tigran Mansurian. One thing that I hope in the future that I'll be able to do is to be able to travel to Armenia and to really even discuss maybe some of Mansurian's ideas in this piece. I think one of the most important things is really just being able to almost sit back and really enjoy the beauty of Armenian music.
Saint